Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rohit, and I will be hosting this webinar today. The topic of today's webinar is Ensure a secure and uninterrupted end user experience with our three new features. The agenda for this webinar will be as follows: a quick intro about Site 24/7, the different end user experience monitoring solutions we provide, along with the new features, that is, WebSocket monitoring, real-time blacklist check monitoring, and brand reputation monitoring. We will also be discussing a few other key enhancements that have been made recently in end user experience monitoring. Using Site 24/7, you can monitor the uptime and performance of your websites globally, as we have servers in over 100 locations worldwide. Site 24/7 offers a variety of different monitoring solutions for your website. You can use a basic website monitor that monitors for the uptime and responsiveness of your website, or you can monitor a complete web transaction from start to finish using a web transaction browser monitor. We also provide solutions to monitor defacement in your website content or the expiry of your SSL/TLS certificate. In this webinar, we will be mainly focusing on three new features in Site 24/7 end user experience monitoring, namely WebSocket, blacklist check, and brand reputation. First, let's start with WebSocket monitoring. So what is a WebSocket? WebSocket is basically a protocol that helps in establishing a two-way communication between a browser and a server. Unlike one-way connection protocols like HTTP, WebSocket will secure the connection until the session is terminated, creating an uninterrupted connection between two devices. WebSocket will also update the content without waiting for a request from the user. The main advantage of using a WebSocket is that it will provide a low latency communication for the user, delivering a dynamic and real-time web experience. So why do we need a WebSocket monitor? Using a WebSocket monitoring solution like Site 24/7, you can secure a seamless experience for your customer whenever they try to initiate a handshake with your WebSocket endpoint. Site 24/7 will monitor your WebSocket endpoints in real time and alert you if there are any service disruptions or response time spikes, giving you a head start in solving any potential issues. Let us now understand how the WebSocket monitor will work. The monitor works by initiating a handshake from a secure WebSocket URL. If the handshake is unsuccessful, the monitor will report the status as down. If it is successful, a ping message is sent to the other end of the WebSocket and a PONG response is received. Once this PONG response is received, the WebSocket's availability and response time are determined. Let us now look at a live example to learn how to add a WebSocket monitor. To add a new monitor, you need to navigate to Admin, Inventory, Add Monitor, and select WebSocket. Here you need to provide all the necessary information such as display name, WebSocket URL, and check frequency. So let us give a test name here and a URL. Check frequency can range from 1 minute to 1 day. For the sake of our webinar, we can keep it at 5. Next, we can establish a connection timeout. The connection timeout is the amount of time before which a WebSocket connection failure can be confirmed. For our purpose, let's keep it at 15 seconds. You can also toggle whether you prefer an IPv6 connection or not, and even provide the IPv4 or IPv6 addresses that you would prefer to be polled. You can also decide whether you wish to skip the check that confirms whether the hostname provided matches with the one given in the certificate, as well as whether you wish to ignore the trust certification path or not. You can then configure the SSL protocol. For our purpose, let's keep it at auto. Next important step is to select the monitoring locations from which you would like to monitor the WebSocket availability. As mentioned in a previous slide, we offer monitoring from over 100 locations in different parts of the globe. Let's select a few here. Click Save. After having selected the locations you want, you can associate the monitor with a monitoring group. This is done to ease your administrative duties. You can either select one of these monitoring groups that are already there, or you can even create a new one. If you wish to declare a dependency, you can do that as well by selecting the monitor to which the new one will be dependent. The next part of configuration involves setting the threshold for alerting. Based on your needs, you can select the number of locations from which the WebSocket connection must fail before you want to be alerted, as well as the response time thresholds for your WebSockets. Let's give some values here. You can also create a notification profile. The notification profile will decide when you are sent an alert, what should be the email template that you want to receive, as well as the escalation hierarchy in case an issue is not resolved on time. So once you have decided on all these values, click Save. Finally, you can configure who all should receive an alert if the monitor fails by selecting the relevant user alert groups. Other than these, you can also set tags to better manage your monitors and create IT automations in case you wish to execute a particular action whenever the monitor fails. You can also choose from our wide range of third-party integrations if you wish to be alerted using one of them. Once this is done, click on Save and go to the dashboard to see the monitor. So click Save here and you click here and you can see that the monitor has come here, WebSocket test. I have already created a test WebSocket monitor here. So let us see the stats that are displayed in this. So here you can see the outages as well as the response time and the response time by location in the summary tab. If you navigate to the outages tab, you can see the outage history for this monitor. The inventory tab will give you information about the monitor, all the information that you need to know. And finally, the log report will show you all the events that have happened specific to this monitor. So the next monitor which we will deep dive into is going to be the real-time blacklist check monitor or RBL monitor. So what is RBL monitor? RBL monitor allows you to check whether your host name or IP address has been blacklisted or not against popular DNS-based blacklists and alerts you if such a scenario is seen. If such a scenario occurs, the end user will see a warning message while trying to access your page. So why is RBL monitoring important? RBL monitoring will help you by allowing you to take corrective action immediately and avoid the negative consequences of having your website blacklisted. More importantly, it will instill confidence in your customers that they can contact you safely through email, your website, or social media. Let us now look at a live example of how to add an RBL monitor. Similar to the previous example, you navigate to Admin, Inventory, Add Monitor, and select Real-Time Blacklist Check. Provide the necessary details such as display name, host name, or IP address of the website you wish to monitor whether you wish to resolve the hostname in every poll or just the initial one, and also the monitor groups you want this monitor to be a part of. So let us start here. So the test name we can keep as RBL test 1. You can select whatever you like. We'll keep it as yes here. The host name I will put as tigerblue.info. So you can see that it has automatically identified the IP addresses for this host name. You can also manually add more host names or IP addresses here. The number of host names or IP addresses that you can add are unlimited, but each 10 IP or host name will be considered as one basic monitor. So once you have set these things, the next stop, similar to the previous monitor, is that you can choose who all should be alerted in case of a downtime. You can also set tags as well as IT automations, and also configure any third-party integrations if necessary. Once this is done, click Save. We can go to the dashboard and again look at an example. On selecting this, you can see the status of all the monitored host names or IP addresses. If you click on any one of them, you can also see the blacklist history of the host name or IP address against popular blacklists. Similar to the WebSocket monitor, you can also see the blacklist history here, monitor details in the inventory tab, and all the events that have occurred for this monitor in the log report. The third new feature we will be seeing today is called brand reputation monitoring, which is again part of our security monitoring. Brand reputation monitor helps you keep the brand reputation of your web page and by extension that of your organization intact by regularly checking your websites against the Google Safe browsing list and notifying you if any malicious code is found in any one of them. Brand reputation monitor is particularly useful since any website containing malware or suspicious or phishing activity is seen as a threat to the online community and is often heavily penalized by search engines. Our monitor will help you in steering away from any such malicious code that might contaminate your website by sending you timely alerts on identification of such codes and helps keep your brand reputation intact. Now let's look at a live example of how to add this monitor. So again, similar to the previous two, you navigate to admin, inventory, add monitor, and select brand reputation. We give the basic information that is required, that is the display name and the web pages as well as the monitor groups. So let's give the display name as brand reputation test. Click on add web pages and give the web page you want to monitor. So here you can see that you can add multiple web pages. You can either add them manually or click on discover web pages. What this will do is it will automatically discover all the web pages in your URL and add them for monitoring. So once this is done, you click on save. So again, similar to the RBL monitor, you can add unlimited number of URLs, but 10 URLs will be considered as one basic monitor. The next step of configuration, similarly, is to decide who all will receive the alerts. So we can select any of these user alert groups, select the tags that need to be set, the IT automations that you would like, and also make the third-party integrations that you would want. Once this is done, click Save. If you want to see this monitor, let's navigate to the dashboard. And here you can see the monitor over here. So again, similarly to the last case, I have already added one test monitor. We click on it and we can see all the web pages that have been added. You can see all the web pages in the summary tab. Any web page that has been subject to malware or phishing will be marked in red. In this case, none of them have been added. So they are all marked in green here. So other than these three new monitors, we have also added three new features, which are two new enhancements and one new monitor, which we can see briefly. The first of this is Chrome browser support for web page speed browser monitor. So if you guys have been using Site 24/7 in the past, you will be aware that we have Firefox browser support in web page speed browser. Now you can also select Chrome as the browser through which your website will be monitored while configuring the web page speed browser. The second enhancement is a Chrome recorder support for web transaction browser. While adding a new web transaction browser monitor, you can now choose a Chrome recorder instead of the pre-existing Firefox recorder on Mac and Windows. Another new monitor that we have added is called the NTP server monitor or Network Time Protocol server monitor. The NTP server monitor will monitor your primary server and alert you if the secondary servers drift from the primary server or if the primary is not accessible. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for participating in this webinar. I hope the session was informative. So thank you once again. Have a good day.